Got your glasses?
Not really. Actually, yeah.
Welcome to Nerdish.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I thought I said the wrong thing. I don't know.
No.
You're fine.
This is Nerdish. My name is Brendan.
I'm Levi.
This is Brady.
Today we'll be going over logarithms. And what are you going over?
I crush dreams.
Hey! How you
Hello.
doing, Chris Dreams? Hello. What are you covering?
Hello.
And that's Siddharth.
Don't tell me. I am so bad at this.
Oh my goodness.
I'm doing English.
Yeah.
I'm doing dangling
Hi, Siddharth.
modifiers. Dangling modifiers.
Mm.
Do you know what that is? Maybe.
We'll find out.
They're very uncommon, but they're cool,
Yeah.
as all English concepts
No.
are.
But we will be going over something that is so useful that neither of the tests we have below has any examples.
Oh, yeah.
Which
which are logarithms.
Logarithms.
We're going over logarithms.
Cool, you
Logarithms.
say. Cool, I say.
Yeah.
Sam, I am. Siddharth, I am.
Siddharth?
And I'll be back behind the scenes, pulling the strings behind these two puppets, answering your questions mostly.
Yeah. All right. Y'all ready?
Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is my Levi hand. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's a good time. We have fun.
Make sure that light's off on the far side.
Yep.
Thanks.
Blast, yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Bye.
that's on you, Levi. All right, great.
That's entirely your fault.
All right, today we're gonna start with logs. I think I was the one who went over these last time, but that was a month ago, so we've got plenty of time for us to go over more things. If you have any questions throughout this, any at all, let me know. Doesn't necessarily have to be over logarithms. We can add it to our question queue, or if it's somewhat relevant, I can answer it during the thing. Yes, Brady is saying to ask questions. Also, Real Mikey Nugget, let me know if you're on or whenever you're on. We have your foci question that we can cover.
You said that so...
I had to think of what his name was. Are y'all waiting on glass? Writing on glass. Yes. There's a glass pane in front of us and we have it flipped around. Actually, we have this cool new thing where we can just like act like we're writing, and it's like those pencils that are like those printers, right? And it actually just forms and it floats there. Anyway, an example would be the log of b to the a is c. Log base b of a equals c. That's how you would say this. Log base b of a. What does this mean? Different color. This is the same as b to the c power equals a. All right? It doesn't necessarily mean that, but this is how you interpret it. Right? We're saying the log base b of a equals c, meaning that b to the c power equals a. It's a little bit backwards. It's actually useful for a number of things. Normally, if you see log, they won't have a base here, and that means base 10. All right? It's like when we do a square root. I don't have to put a 2 here for you to know that it's just the square root. It's the same thing with logarithms. The default, if you will, is just log base 10. Don't know what they're talking about over there. Again, if you have any questions, please ask. But this is
Brandon's personal life.
the very basics of logarithms. All right, we can do a couple of cool things here, but let's do a quick example. I have log, I'm going to do base 2 because it's usually pretty easy, of 8 equals x. Now, how do we solve this? Some of you may actually already know the answer. We know that this is 2 to the x equals 8. And then hopefully you know what this is. If not, you can think about it a little bit. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. X equals 3. 2 to the third power is 8. Yes, good job, Siddharth. All right.
Very nice.
Next, let's talk about what happens if we add 2 logs, all right, of the same base. Log b of a plus log b of c. All right, what does that equal? This actually allows us, feels good, man, actually allows us to rewrite this, still the base b of a, I am doing capitals, let's get that right. Let's use pink again.
I got this one, Brennan.
Here it is.
It's fine.
Got it. All right. Meaning that if I have the log, if they're the same base, and I add them, I can actually take the log of those two multiplied together. I'll give an example of that in just a minute, but while we're on this topic, that's a nasty looking asterisk. Let's say if I have the log base b of a minus the log base b of c. Maybe this is already clear to you what this should be. It's following a similar pattern. It's going to be log base b of a over c. All right. Addition goes to multiplication. Subtraction goes to division. Yes, Siddharth. A couple examples to make sure this makes sense. Still going to keep it in base 2 because 2s are easier to work with. Say we have log base 2 of 8, which we already know, plus log base 2 of, let's say, 16. Now this, in theory, it should equal log base 2 of 8 times 16. All right? Now, we know how to solve for these, and we will know how to solve for that in a second. Get out my calculator. Make no stupid mistakes. We said that this is 3, meaning that 8 times 2, another power of 2 here, is going to make this 4, equals log base 2 of 8 times 16, 128. All right? Now, this should be 7. However, to test this, one way to test this is to say, does 2 to the 7 equal 128? Right? You can plug that into a calculator, and it does. And there we go. Yeah, 2 to the 7th power equals 128. If you weren't comfortable doing it this way, you could rewrite it this way. There are some instances where this will be quicker to do it this way, and other times it'll be quicker to do it this way. It just kind of depends on the actual one. 3 and 4 is... yes, Siddharth. The reason we got these, if it wasn't clear, the reason we were able to go to here, this is 2 to the 3rd equals 8, and we care about this 3 here. And this one is 2 to the 4th equals 16, and we care about this 4. All right, now let's do subtraction. See if I can't keep those mostly the same. All right. Dang. Never mind.
You tried.
I know. I didn't. It's can't have a negative.
Doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
I like the harmonies, guys. I appreciate it. All right, going back to this. Let's do base 3. Log base 3 of 3 less than log base 3 of 27
Yeah, it is.
equals the log base 3 of what should be 27 over 3. All right. Easy. Yes, thank you. This should be log base 3 of 27. 3 squared is 9. 3 cubed is 27. We get 3. Minus log base 3 of 3, that's just 1. All right. Equals what should be log base 3 of 9. 2 equals log 3 of 9. And it does. 3 squared equals 9. This is how we can double check, do a sanity check, and make sure we're doing it correctly. All right.
You good?
No.
Oh.
There's a couple other things.
You don't want me to do English right now?
No. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty quick in terms of, at least for my lecture. There aren't any practice problems on this specific test, meaning, or either the test below, meaning, well, it is rare. We've said that. We don't really need to spend too much time on it, unless you have specific questions. The last thing here, we have the log base b of a to the x equals x times the log base b of a. All right, what that looks like, if I say I have log base 2 of, we'll say 8 again, squared, that equals 2 times the log of 2 to the 8. All right, I'm gonna work at both of these down at the same time to see if it actually works out. This is going to be log base 2 of 64 should equal 2 times the log base, I'll just write this again, of 8. Now we know on the right that this is 3. We've done that a handful of times already, meaning this should be 6. All right. Well, now we want to say is 2 to the 6 equal to 64, right? It is. You can check it on your calculator. This will also give you 6. Thanks, Aiden. I appreciate that. Is natural log tested?
Yep.
Yeah, occasionally. It'll be with things like this, or you will be able to plug it in your calculator to solve for it. Yeah, I guess I can go over that very quickly, or at least just very briefly. What college did we go to? If we have log base e of a, that is actually the natural log of a. All right, natural log is log to the base e, and e is a number that is used. It's found a lot in nature, and they've just coined it as e, and it's like, what, 1.4 or something, guys? I don't actually remember what the actual value of it is.
E?
Yeah.
2.718.
There you go.
And
so
it goes on
twice what I
forever.
said. And it goes on forever.
Yeah.
Similar to pi?
Yeah.
There you go. Is there anything else I wanted to cover for this? I believe not. Some quick things not to forget. If you have log base b of 0, it's always going to be 1. No matter what the base is. If you take, whoops, let me do it the other way. Did that wrong.
Yes.
1 equals 0. The log of base anything of 1 is always 0 because b to the 0 equals 1. No matter what b is, anything to the 0th power is 1. You also can't have a negative value. The values, log will only equal a positive number, 0 to positive infinity, meaning you can't have the log of a negative number. That's all I got for you.
Yes.
Levi, you're up. If you guys have any questions, let me know. The real Mikey Nugget, if you're in on chat, let us know.
I love how you say that.
Real Mikey Nugget. What else? That's his name. That was their name.
It would be like, I don't know.
Real Mikey Nugget. We're gonna cover foci. Let us know when you get on, and we can cover that for you.
It just sounds so, I don't know. You really.
That's their name.
No. I know. But
I'm emphasizing it weird, maybe.
I know. I love the way you emphasize it. Quick, could you all go over the what?
Oh, they've got a test on stats tomorrow. I answered your question in the Discord. If we have time after, we can go over it. Only in the context of box and whisker plots, though. They're asking about quartiles and that.
Oh, quartiles. Okay. An O-guide medium? Never heard of that. But I've never hated anything more than stats.
I agree with that, actually. Stats
aside
was
from
the
my-
worst class.
My parents. Just kidding. Just kidding, Mom, Dad.
I'm going to go this way. Thanks.
I don't know what that is.
Spelling error, guys?
What is it meant to be? I don't know. Could be a breed of ogre. Okay. We are doing dangling modifiers. These are fun. I like these. This is really, really simple stuff. Wait, let me just finish writing this.
Ogres are real. That's not a spelling error.
Eh?
Ogive is actually a
It's a
stats
thing? Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. I don't know. Dangling modifiers. Ooh. These are part of speech. I don't even know if it's a technical term, but it's a dangling modifier. It's when you start a sentence with something without a subject.
So if you were to say running down the street, and then you do something. So running down the street, I jumped and giggled because my name is Brandon. My name is not Brandon, but running down the street, I did something. You can't say, you could say running down the street, I tripped on a rock, but you could not say running down the street, a rock tripped me. Because this is a dangling modifier. It's a non-essential that's describing the thing that comes after it. So this has to describe a rock, but that doesn't make sense. If a rock is running down the street, we have bigger problems than the SAT and the ACT. This is also on both tests, for sure. They're very uncommon, and their dangling modifiers need subject right after word. Yes, it does. So it's always going to be this thing right here after the comma is where you have your subject. So you could say, you wouldn't want to say this. That doesn't make sense. You could say as I ran down the street, but then you have a dependent clause here. As I was running down the street, a rock tripped me. That's fine. It's still a little weird to say that a rock tripped me, but at least now you're not using a dangling modifier. Now this modifies, or it's just part of the dependent clause at the beginning. It's gone. Okay. Any questions on that so far? If not, then I can just do a problem and then we'll be done, and then you can ask all your questions about anything you want.
Yeah, let's hurry up with the English stuff.
Dude, we're running out of time.
Excuse you. We're definitely running out of time.
So
Running out of time.
The Wheel of Time?
Yeah, The
By
Wheel
Robert
of Time
Jordan.
by Robert Jordan. Okay. Oh, also, if you happen to be watching right now and you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free, so check that out. It's up there. That would be very helpful to us so we can keep doing this, but we're going to do it either way.
Let's go.
It's not shameless. I feel somewhat shameful about saying that.
Oh, I don't.
I do.
Oh.
Well, you should say it next time, so I don't have to sweat when I do it. Okay, actually, could you pull up the SAT, Brendan, and go to the
Make me do everything.
I make you do everything.
That's
Could you go to the very end of the writing section, number 43 we're doing.
sorry for the lag.
Yes, very good. Okay. Ooh, wrote this really large, didn't I?
Oh, Levi.
Dangling.
Levi.
Dangling. Okay. Let's see, number 43. So let's read this sentence. Although demanding and deadline driven, video game design can be a lucrative and rewarding field for people who love gaming, yada, 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 yada. Or, although demanding and deadline driven, the choice of video game design can be a lucrative and rewarding field for people. Okay, so these sound pretty good. But what do you people think about sorry. What do you guys I always say you people. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you viewers? I always say you viewers.
Sure.
What do you all think about the answer to number 43?
You lost a viewer because of that.
Oh yeah? A? Yes, I also think A. Because you have although you have this, it doesn't have to be a verb, so in this case D. Oh, yes. Hey Ren. Renner.
I just say
Rin.
Rinward?
Rinward? Yeah, Rinward for long. Okay. Oh, sorry, Rin. Yeah, it's okay. You'll get him next time when it actually counts. Now it doesn't count. Get it all wrong. It's fine. Okay. We're describing whatever is going to come next as demanding and deadline driven. Yes? So that means that the thing we describe is that has to make sense. So let's look at one that's definitely not a good idea. Okay. Although demanding and deadline driven, you should choose we're looking at C. You should choose video game design because yada yada yada. If we say that, then the subject of the sentence is you. That's not what we want because we're saying that you are demanding and deadline driven, which is not necessarily true because this you would be a general one directed at the whole readership of whatever this article is. I don't think that works. You need to describe demanding and deadline driven, or you need to use that to describe something here, and I think A is the right answer. Video game design. It's not B because that's the choice of video game design. Choosing it is not deadline driven or demanding. You just make a choice, I guess. And D is the same thing. So in this case, the answer would be A. Now, with that in mind, it's not that hard when you hit a dangling modifier question, because once you know that that's going on, it's pretty simple. It's like, what are the other ones? The redundancy questions where they say something multiple times. That is a very, very easy question type if you know you're doing it. If you don't know, let's see, doing math homework while listening to this in the background. Yeah, you are.
Hey.
Christopher.
Thanks for the follow
Facts.
yesterday.
Yes, thank you for the follow yesterday. Okay, here. Dangling modifiers are just hard to recognize. If you recognize them, you'll probably get them right because they're not that challenging. So it needs to be one of the things in your back pocket. Just like, let's make a little back pocket thing. Oh my gosh, you two. Back pocket stuff. Could you, while you sing, turn the overlay off, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, back pocket stuff. This is stuff that you need to keep in mind that's not going to be, they're very uncommon, but if you don't realize they're about to or that they are happening, you might waste some time, because you should be going through the English test and seeing what fits where and all that, but sometimes everything seems pretty good. And that's when you run into problems, because that's when you waste time, or that's when you're just saying to yourself, okay, well, I think this sounds better than everything else, but you don't really know. So this back pocket stuff, one of them will definitely be dangling modifiers, because they're hard to, because everything sounds fine. Everything after the comma, sounds like you can say that, like choosing, you should choose video game design because it's fun and whatever else. That's fine. You have to think about the beginning of the sentence in that dangling modifier. So you have to think, I keep a checklist in my head. Oh, thank you for the sub.
Hey.
Thank you, Rin.
Should I come out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Who's the sub? Who's the sub?
Rin.
Rin.
Ah, well done, Rin. Well done.
It's so good.
Good.
Dope.
Well-
We appreciate it.
Tell your sister thank you. Okay. They like that, Braid. They like that a lot.
We're gonna make that a clip.
I don't want to clip it. I want it to just be Brady every single time.
We can arrange that.
Yes.
You gotta talk to my agent.
I'll talk to your agent. Brendan?
Yes.
We'll
talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk
We'll
about
talk
it later.
about it.
Yeah.
Brennan gets 10%.
Brendan.
Always.
Okay. Okay. Dangling modifiers are back pocket things because they're very uncommon and they're hard to recognize, but once you do, it's easy. And so this back pocket stuff is when you look at a question and then, normally, something jumps out at you, like a semicolon jumps out and that's what you're dealing with. Or you don't have a verb in the sentence, so that jumps out at you and that's what you're dealing with. Isn't a general tip, the simpler it is, it's usually the answer. No, I don't like that tip. I don't like tips.
You just put
What word do you like better?
I like strategies, and I like concepts, and I like deep conceptual understanding.
Yes. Now, there are certain questions where they say they want something that is the most effective, and normally that means they're going to be something that is shorter. However, that is not the only requirement.
Yes.
There you go.
Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, I got you.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of shorter is better. If you're guessing because you have 1 second left and you can't look at the answer choices, yeah, guess the shortest answer. But I think your back pocket, at the very end of back pocket, after you used everything in the back pocket, then yeah, just do it if you don't have any other idea. But are you done? Okay, dangling modifiers are here. Redundancy is here.
Didn't see.
Redundancy.
How about just concision?
Concision? You want to say concision?
No.
What?
I just
I like concision because it's the pod. It's the general concept. But whatever.
making you work harder.
Dangling modifier, redundancy, and formality is another thing. These things are not super common. Well, redundancy is actually pretty common, but these are things that may not jump out at you because as you read all of the sentence options, they all sound grammatically correct. Nothing hurts your ear necessarily. So you need to learn to have these in your back pocket. Do you have any other back pocket things, guys? Or no? These are the main ones. There may be a couple others that are very uncommon, but I think dangling modifiers are very important to keep in mind because the recognition is everything. Once you realize that this is what's being tested, then the question's very easy. My wallet is in my back pocket. Yeah, send that over to us, and then we can show it on stream. Yeah.
Levi.
What?
That's his
Whoa.
wallet.
How are we gonna make money?
Well, it's
Yeah, consider it. Yeah.
shameless.
Give me lunch money. Yes. Very
Give
good.
me maths. All right, are you good, Levi?
I am finished.
All right.
Okay, I'm done. So if any of you have questions of your own that you brought, you should have brought questions. If you came without questions, go home and come back with questions.
There is a word of the day.
There's a word of the day.
The word of the day is bolus. As in, when you chew food in your mouth, right before you swallow it, that little compressed ball of food that goes on your esophagus is referred to as a bolus.
I don't know why.
That is true. That's bolus.
That sounds like a loaded bolus to me.
Well,
Whoa! All right.
it's okay. Actually, you know how Australians say it?
No.
Barless.
Barless? Yeah. They talk about boluses
Bro,
all
I
the
got
time,
a barless
apparently.
legit every time I eat.
Well, I think it's supposed to,
Well,
right?
yeah.
It's-
Yeah, if you're not getting boluses
Otherwise,
or
You're
boli,
not actually eating.
that's
right?
not
Then-
good.
You're
then
not
it's
ingesting
probably-
the food.
Yes.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
intravenous.
you're designed to
Bolus.
ingest boli. Look, bolus is a hit.
It's just
Very good.
Ebola.
I hear they're making programs.
Oh.
Oh.
Where are you at, Scotta?
That's
Scotta and
good.
Mopsy got competition.
Uh-oh.
Who's this? Oh, that's
It's just
Crush
Ebola.
Dreams.
Yeah.
Dream Crusher.
Any questions, guys? We have so much time for questions.
Well-
Over an hour.
Yes.
You let us know what you want to know,
And we'll make sure that you already know it,
and we'll make sure you know it.
so that you
I'll put
never
it
actually asked us in the first
your
place.
brain.
Time travel. It's the future of education. How to get a
Time travel?
1600.
You answer everything correctly.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
you
Am I
can-
right?
Yes. He's right. He's absolutely right. Yeah.
Similar with the 36.
Similar. All right, now, in all fairness, you can miss a couple of questions here or there and still get the perfect score.
On either one.
Yeah.
But, to be sure.
But to be certain, you want to just make sure you answer everything correctly.
Oh, so bolus is just when you swallow food, not like when you swallow a lot of food.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
that's
it's
Just
not
how
that.
to swallow food.
That's ebolus. That is
That's-
ebolus.
No, it's not.
Yeah, ebolus is when you swallow too much food,
I
get
think
stuck in
he
your
might
throat,
actually-
get sick and die.
I don't like that. I want.
That's
to
not
this word.
ebolus, but that's choking. That's not good. Yeah, try not to choke.
It's inhaling food rather than ingesting.
Right.
Inhaling food.
Yeah, you've never been told you inhale your food? Just me? Okay.
I've been told that.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. You eat very quickly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the people in my family eat very quickly, especially me. Can you all define the word bolgia?
I think that's a place in Russia.
Oh gosh.
Bolgia.
Bulgaria?
Bolgia.
Hey, can anybody? Do you guys actually know any
Bulgogi?
phrases? I know some Bulgarian phrases. My freshman roommate was Bulgarian.
No.
What do you got?
TC Topanar.
What does that mean?
That means you're an idiot. Sorry, that's all I know.
Oh God.
Got him.
I'm gonna give this guy the business, but not on stream.
Yeah. No, it's dot in there. Yes
Okay.
and no. That's it.
Any SAT or ACT or Brennan personal life related questions, please ask them. We will answer them.
We need an acronym for that. BPL. How's that?
Brennan's personal life?
Yeah.
Should you worry about time or just concentrate on the exam? Rin, I would say it depends on what your issues are. I think there are strategies to handle it if you are short on time so that you're not stressed about it. But you also shouldn't go so slowly that your timing then becomes an issue. If you elaborate on that a little bit more, we can give you some more specific advice.
You have a little while, so I would say definitely focus on accuracy, although,
Well, if this is for the SAT or the ACT, it depends.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you're taking the test.
And don't be afraid to skip as well. Skipping is a pretty effective way to not spend a lot of time on very hard problems. Or
You
just,
can also jog if skipping's not your forte.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah, you got me.
All
yeah.
right. But yeah, sorry. You
Do you
Do
don't
you
really-
want, okay, also important question. So
Yeah.
when are you taking it? Do you want to do well?
PSAT on October
That's
10th,
another
ACT
thing.
on the 27th. Ah,
Okay.
Very good.
I would say don't worry about the PSAT too much.
Yeah, not really that important.
Unless you think you're gunning for one of the national merit honor or whatever scholarship things if you're a junior. If not, don't worry about it. I take November 6th. Woo! Final one because I'm a senior. Oh, dang. You're a senior.
Well, best of luck, Siddharth.
With national merit.
Okay, yeah.
So, yes.
The timing tends to be more of an issue for the ACT than the PSAT or the SAT. I will say the PSAT on the non-calculator section is actually a lot faster. You have shorter amount of time for the number of questions you get comparatively than for the SAT.
See if you can find a PSAT from years past. There's probably some floating around on the internet. And try it out and make sure to time yourself with the appropriate timing for whatever section you're taking. And afterward, there's usually a little jump in how fast you realize you have to move to be able to get through it, which you'll apply on the actual test.
Yeah, if timing's an issue, the best thing to do is to take a test, figure out why you're slow, and then practice a couple different strategies on it to see what you're comfortable with, what helps you to do it quickly, and also stay accurate.
There you go. Yeah. Also follow that link.
Yes. Levi, you're the king.
Soy Ren.
El Rey.
Rey.
El Rey.
Okay.
Neat. Yeah.
Yeah, extremely neat.
Especially something for the SAT or PSAT that's not actually useful on the ACT, because there are multiple choice questions on the SAT and PSAT. Do those first, so that if timing is an issue, you get to guess on a question where you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right, instead of an open-ended answer that could be any value.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Levi, now we have to go get it.
Who's this guy?
Oy. Also, if you are
Did
worried
y'all
about
take any subject tests
Yeah, let's see.
in high school?
Yeah, took a couple.
I didn't, but I also went to a really
I think I took
high
math
school.
2 and no, I took AP tests, I think.
my school didn't offer APs. I'm a bad example.
I did math 2, Spanish, and physics. And Spanish, I really lucked out because I was able to opt out of my foreign language requirement in college because of it.
really?
Yeah, which I had no idea that was even a thing until it happened. I'm like, that's great.
Actually, I'm happy I took Spanish in college. It was more fun.
I bet it was, yeah.
Yeah.
When did y'all apply? Where did y'all apply before entering college? My school doesn't offer AP either. Well,
You can still do it.
Yeah.
As in, you can still make it wherever, I promise.
Yeah, the College Board will take your money if you want to do it.
Well, I just meant you don't necessarily have to have
Wait.
APs to get into a great college.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
If
true.
you're asking.
That's true.
Your
That's true.
college
Calm down, guys.
admissions, they know what schools have what classes, so they're not going to hold it against you that you didn't take AP classes.
Yep.
You just want to take the most challenging classes that your school offers.
Yes. That the GPA of your school GPA, the most important GPA or part of that GPA is the part that is taken from your honors or AP classes.
Yes. Do you have any questions conceptually about the test so that we can do them? We do recommend you come armed with those questions so that you can ask us also.
Mhm.
But these are good questions. We will keep answering these as well.
Mm.
But I like writing on the board.
Yeah, no, the board's fun. The board's very fun.
Ah!
Wow.
Make Levi pick them all up. Levi.
I'm gonna actually grab these.
Whip-
one of these is a bad
Whipping
one, though.
boy, Levi.
Whipping.
Mine.
Coup whip.
Cool whip.
Coup whip.
Cool whip word.
All right. Are there any other questions either about the test in general, strategies for time management? Rin, if you want, last week we went over some strategies for time on a couple of different tests.
Yes.
You can check those out in our archive videos after the stream if you want.
Or you can pull up a monitor if you have another monitor and just watch those simultaneously while you're watching us live.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are a
Also,
lot of people apparently who are watching us and doing it kind of in the background.
Hey,
Math 2 and
Christopher 205. Yeah, those are the tests right there, man. Those are fun.
Those are the ones you like. the
205
I
was
do.
my homeroom in 7th grade.
Well, that's
most.
something.
Why is-
That was my homeroom number.
So if you have any
Okay.
questions, you can send it to us on Discord.
asked.
Any particular math
You
2 or
asked.
physics questions on practice tests that you might have taken that you are stumped by, let us know. And
Yeah.
we'll give you the sweet, sweet deets,
the knowledge.
the knowledge.
I'm gonna test those ones, but I'm not gonna opt out because I don't. Ooh,
I don't want all this stress.
it's valid. Depends on what you're going for.
Yep.
Some schools are very strict about requiring either 2 subject tests or ACT and SAT both.
Really?
It depends on. Yeah, you can actually. Lots of schools allow you to substitute 2 subject tests for the ACT.
As long as you
Did
take the
you
other
know?
one as well.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh,
You
jeez.
take both SAT and ACT, and that way you don't have to take the SAT and 2 subject tests.
I haven't been in high school for 15 years, so I don't remember any of that stuff.
I don't require them, so I'm good.
It's definitely not true, Levi.
Oh, it's so true.
so false.
If it were. a
Um,
lie.
Yeah, it's nice if you can get rid of standardized testing when you're a junior, as in
Yeah.
get that over with. Get the scores that you think you need to get to the schools that you want. So
get up to that level, then ruin it all senior year.
No, Levi, don't do that.
Just go take a nosedive, ruin everything.
Summer after your junior year, that summer, you really should start thinking about the college application process. And if you can get some of the Common App done before school starts, you're in a really good spot. And then you have a bunch of different essays to write for specific schools, which a lot of that will be just copying and pasting different school names into like the same essay, which of course colleges know that you do that, and make sure that you look over everything before you send it in, because I'm sure they get plenty of papers that have the a different college name on it. Actually moved from Canada to the U.S. so I only learned about the college process.
Definitely makes it a little more difficult then.
That is tough.
Yeah.
Stick with Rin. Rin will tell you everything you need to know.
Yep. Rin's got you covered.
Everything that we learned from Rin.
But you have to give him your wallet.
Or her.
Sorry, I mispronounced Rin as him.
Yeah.
Rin HR. Why HR? Like you work in the HR department?
Yes.
Or just
probably.
Rin her. Rinner? I don't know.
Maybe it's Reiner. Like Ryanair. Isn't that a
Rhino?
Ryanair?
Maybe it's like Australian.
Rynar?
Rynar.
Yeah, it could be it.
Look at that, Rynar Barlis.
Toby from HR. Ooh, The Office.
Oh God, Toby.
Rin. Yeah, and then R because it was taken.
Got it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that.
Got it.
I mean, that's why most people have numbers at the end. They just one-upped it and did a letter.
You guys should ask us questions.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to know about the tests, that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
No,
also,
Brandon's personal life. It's personal. It's his.
And
it's
it's
his
a
life. That's the jingle. Yep.
Do.
Hey! By Johnson & Johnson, a family company.
All right.
How many baddies is he pulling?
Maybe he was supposed to be... No,
I
we'll go with
plenty
baddies.
I have buddies. I have plenty of buddies. They're my pals.
You're pulling a lot of buddies.
Also lots of
He's
bodies.
pulling at least 2 right now.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Good pals.
Which
I'll
one
try
is
to get
1?
a list of
Which one is
questions
2?
next time.
That is a good idea.
It's great.
It's a very good idea.
You
wanna
want to
go
answer your question.
find
Right
one
now,
Yeah.
if nobody's asking questions and you ask us a question, you have 3 tutors teaching you how to do something.
Yeah, go look up a question.
Also, there are tests down below. If you want to look at those real quick, see if there's anything you don't know how to do, we can go over it.
Give him a little glance, a little look-see, peruse him a bit.
Yeah.
Peruse.
Don't be afraid to really get in there and get your hands dirty with looking at those tests.
And knead it.
Kneaded dough.
Squelch that.
Squelch it.
Squelch.
Squanch?
Squanchy?
Squanch.
What's a squanch?
Rick and
Oh,
Morty.
you wouldn't know.
Rick and Morty.
Look, I would like that show, but they yell the whole time. It's very
You
stressful.
yell
Then
all the
turn the
time.
volume down.
I don't.
That's actually the
not
best
bad.
answer. That's the best rebuttal we could have
It's
for you.
not that it's loud, it's that they're yelling.
Right, sir, because you know what? They're going on universe adventures.
Yeah,
It's,
you would too.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of the service 1600.io?
I've heard of it. I don't have opinions on it because I haven't actually looked into it much. But
I've
heard
read
of
it.
What is it?
It's a person, right, who just gives out, who charges for lessons, and they're just recorded lessons.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's like a paid Khan Academy that may be more specific. From my understanding, I don't understand it much. I
To
just
the
glanced at
SAT?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, ideally not the ACT because it's 1600.
Right.
Yeah, do that. If you don't want to pay, then don't do that. If you
Don't.
want to pay, do that.
Sure. We
Um,
also do tutoring as well.
Yeah.
But up to you guys.
No, don't use us for tutoring. Definitely do that.
It used to all be free and now it's not. It's
If you-
actually a good model.
Used to all be free before the accident. Yeah, hasn't been free since then.
Ah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, move the mouse. Thanks. Check him out. He has like 2 courses now that are free. Okay.
Yeah, do those.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah,
Siddharth.
if there's anything out there that's a free resource, go for it. One way you can do this without just wasting tons of time is know what you need to study beforehand and then go and find things that are free that talk about those specifically.
Siddharth, have you read Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse? It's a question for you. So you can respond to that when you feel like it.
Do you want to do matrices?
No.
Do you want to do commas?
Half of it, LOL. Ah, okay. Because there's a...
Part at the end that's don't spoil it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. But that's why my parents named me after. Oh. You know, that's the Buddha right there. Those are pretty big shoes to fill. You got to become completely enlightened.
Is that Never mind.
That
was
was
good to get on
the Buddha's
SAT.
actual name was Siddhartha. Would you rather have hiccups or the sneezing feeling for the rest of your life? So, just to be clear, you wouldn't actually be sneezing.
You just had that feeling right before?
Just the constant feeling like you're about to sneeze. Hey, look at that. Yes.
I don't know, I feel like because it might be something you could get used to.
Yeah.
But also,
it'd be rough.
Yes,
though.
we can do a
Yes,
reading question.
great,
Thank you,
Pyro
Pyro
Prancer.
Prancer.
Oh man.
Do you have a
Finally.
specific one?
We
you want us
thought
to
you
go
would
over?
never ask.
Do you have a specific passage? Or a
Question
type of
33.
question?
Question 33.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
That's
All
it.
right.
We are in business,
Business.
making
It's
money.
Business time.
Money's going everywhere because it's business.
Sorry for the lag.
Business time?
Business
Jermaine.
time.
You know
Mine.
when I'm down to my socks. Anyway,
It's business.
That's what I call business socks.
business socks.
Stats, notes for my quiz, I'm gonna sleep. 5:30 a.m. daily. That's early.
Ooh, all
That
right.
is early, Siddhartha.
Well, thanks for checking in.
Go get them. You rock.
Yeah, good luck on the stats test tomorrow.
Yep. That's right.
Oof.
5:30. That's pretty early. That's rough. Yeah, you gotta go to sleep pretty early if you're gonna try to wake up and not be a zombie.
Oh, it looks like this is a vocab and context. Or close enough. 33. As used in line 4, which is on the other. Oh.
Okay, so line 4.
Oh, he's got it.
Okay, so to avoid the evils of inconstancy and versatility. What's up?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we'll do that in a second.
Should we read the question first?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. and do
Okay.
this.
I'm going to start over. To avoid the evils of inconstancy and versatility, 10,000 times worse than those of obstinacy and the blindest prejudice, we have consecrated the state, that no man should approach to look into its defects or corruptions, but with due caution. Keep going. That he should never dream of beginning its reformation by its subversion, that he should approach to the faults of the state as to the wounds of a father, with pious awe and trembling
Is
solicitude.
that all one sentence?
That's a long sentence.
Oh, buddy.
Yes, that is a long sentence.
All right, now, I got it, Levi. If we look here, it says in line 4, state most nearly refers to is that style of living, position in life, temporary condition, or political entity. Well, all of those potentially could be it, right? But that's not what we're worried about. Oh, we're worried about which one of those actually fits in this sentence with, which one of those could actually replace the word state in this sentence, right? Or what the meaning of it is here. Looking at line 4, we have consecrated the state, that no man should approach to look into its defects or corruption, but with due caution.
So it's got to be something that could have defects and corruption,
Mhm.
and also be able to be reformed, because they mentioned reformation as well.
All right. So, Brady, you want to keep going then?
Yeah, sure. A lot of times when we say state, we refer to government.
Get out of the way here.
So, they talk. There's like a word. They talk about like a nation state, where a nation refers to a group of people, and state refers to the political entity that brings them all together. So the head of state is someone that's the head of the government. So in this case, they're talking about the government. That's why we have formed a government in the first place. We'd have to go back to that first page, but it's going to be political entity here, because that's the thing that can have defects, that's the thing that can be corrupt, and that's the thing that we can also reform. And what they're saying is be cautious when you try to reform government, because it is a very important thing to society, and you don't want to just go willy-nilly into trying to fix things.
Over half a step.
Yes, because if it crumbles, a lot of people are in a lot of trouble, because it's nice to have a stable society.
All right. Meaning, D would probably be.
Yeah,
what we're
D,
going with
political
here.
entity.
Great.
Yeah.
Authex, you had said you're asking about demonstrating how we would skim a passage. You missed too much info and you can't answer the questions. I don't want to do it on a 2-part passage here. That makes it a little bit more difficult. So let's look at another one. Ooh, also the literary is not going to be a great one. Whoops. It's true though. All right. Wrong button.
You got
Oh, Levi.
What?
You didn't set me up here. Hold on, I got it. Nope, don't worry, I got it. Alright. Yeah. What we want to do here, Authex, how do I understand these kinds of passages, because I want to reread them at 10 times, I can't still... Okay. History passage as well. There's a couple different ways you could do this. If you guys want to also read these and give your 2 cents, I would say if you're more interested in a topic or something, one of the passages, it's going to be easier for you to do. You're going to understand more of it. It's going to be more challenging, and this happens with, for Rin, it seems to be the history passage, or for Oth, maybe it's the literature and history. What you want to be able to do in those passages when you skim, and I'll go over how to skim in just a second, but when you skim, what you want to do, you want to be able to read through it just enough to know where everything is. You don't have to be able to remember what they were talking about specifically, but you want to know, oh yeah, if they ask me 12. According to the passage, members of which group moved away from central city areas in large numbers in the early 2000s? You should have a general idea of where they talked about that in the passage. Right? You don't have to remember it. You don't have to be able to circle the answer and say, oh, I know it's this already. That's fine if you can, but that is not the goal. The goal is to be able to say, okay, I remember them talking about this somewhere, maybe in this part, so I'm going to go and skim this again until I read something that is similar. All right? When we actually go through this, when we're skimming, and this works better for certain passages than others, but what we want to do is we want to read the first paragraph, which is going to be a little difficult on this one because it's very long. However, we read the first paragraph. Again, that's 35 lines. Then we read the first sentence of every paragraph after that. All right? Meaning we read that sentence, we read the truth starting there, that sentence, much, that sentence, this sentence, and then the conclusion. So the intro and the conclusion you want to read, and you want to read the first sentence, generally, of every other paragraph. Of every body paragraph. Thanks, Brady. That way you have a general idea of where the information is, and what you're really trying to do in Auth-X, if you're practicing this, what you want to practice is being able to map out where everything is while skimming. Does that make more sense? Let me see. Let's actually read some more of these. Thank you.
I can throw on the ACT. I think Auth is ACT specific.
Okay.
Because you mentioned the science.
Okay. Glad that helps. The science passage. Social science? Or natural science?
I don't know. What do you want?
I don't know. They're doing SAT.
Auth is?
That's what they said.
Oh. Is Auth doing the science section? So doing...
There's a natural science on the SAT as well. Reading.
Oh, I thought he just meant science.
No. Well, I assume that they still meant the reading passages. Which is fine. It's the same approach to any of them. Some of them are a little more difficult. You're going to have to read more because there's less body paragraphs. Hey, thanks, Auth. But there's going to be... thanks, whatever. It's just a way to be a jerk to Levi. Sorry. But it's glad to know I'm making, saying the right things to you. Regardless of what type of passage you're reading, it's the same general approach. Again, what I was saying is certain passages are going to be a little more blocky like this, where there's only a couple of body paragraphs, where you're going to read a lot and you're potentially going to miss a lot of information by skimming that way. What you want to be able to do is get used to it so that you're used to trying to find out what the main point is of these passages. Something else you could do for a passage like this is potentially read the last sentence in each body paragraph as well, to kind of have the intro and conclusion for each body paragraph. It changes person to person. There's no one size fits all.
What I like to do is I like to read a paragraph until I know what's happening. So it might be the first sentence. It might be the first two words. If it says, Michael Jordan was and then you're like, okay, great, I got it. And then maybe skip down halfway through that paragraph and see what's going on there. And you see dates, you see things like that, and then you put it together as a logic puzzle because you don't have the time to read it like you would a book. Yes, you can do line by, first sentence of everything if you'd like. I like to read until I get it and then jump. Mm-hmm. And you can jump as far as you want. I generally jump, 5 or 6 lines because they're all in, and it could be the same paragraph depending on the paragraph length.
Ask about when they want us to stream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, something we've been considering is changing our stream time. We tend to get a lot of viewers later in our stream. So in our Discord down below, we're going to have a straw poll probably at the end of this where you can tell us what times you prefer. Currently, we start at 8 p.m. Eastern and go to 9:30. We're thinking of maybe starting at 9 p.m. and going till 10:30. Being able to reach some more of the folks on the West Coast. Doesn't really bother us too much in terms of when we do it. just whenever is best for you guys. We will have, again, if you check out our Discord down below, we'll probably put something like that in the announcements or something down there for a poll that you guys can all vote on.
Yep.
Great.
Also, coming up is next week, which is our cram. You can also ask questions. We still have 40 minutes, so
please ask some
figure
questions.
out your questions. Stop paying attention now. Go get questions and then come back. But if you're still paying attention, we are doing cram sessions all week next week.
What does that mean?
That will mean that starting on Sunday and going until Friday, including Friday, up until the day before the SAT, the night before the SAT, we won't really have anything planned. We have calculator stuff planned. I think on Monday or Tuesday. It's on the calendar down below.
Yep.
Monday or Tuesday, Brady is doing calculator-related things, and we are figuring that out now. But it'll be all the calculator stuff. It's not like how to do 2 + 2 on your calculator, but it's programs and graphing and things like that. Whatever Brady wants to do.
Yep.
And also during the cram sessions, we're doing
raffle.
Yeah, we're doing some sort of raffle. Haven't figured out exactly how, but it helps to be. You can only be a follower. Subscribing helps. So good on you. Oh, both you two, Auth and Rin.
Better chances.
Better chances of being a subscriber if you're a subscriber. We're going to take a bunch of people's names, put them in a hat, and then see whose college application essays probably I will be revising for free. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll take half an hour on each essay, and then I'll talk to you, over Skype or something for half an hour, or we don't do that, and I just look at it and comment, and then give it back to you, whatever you're more comfortable with. Not sure how many people we're doing, or how many essays I can do.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's going to be some sort of raffle.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. So math, English, science.
Any other questions?
Reading.
Yo, if Real Mikey Nugget's on, we got that foci question for you.
Yes.
But we're waiting until you get on.
Yeah. It's not like Real Mikey Nugget. It's a Real Mikey Nugget.
Is that how I'm saying it?
Yeah, Mikey Nugget.
They're different words all in a name, so I'm trying to. Yeah, I guess.
Feed us questions.
Oh, hey,
we
Brady.
are hungry.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey, Braid.
I see you there.
No
Yep.
sign of Nugget.
Well, it's a shame. Maybe they'll join later.
Yep.
In the meantime,
How do you spell? Like that, Scotta. Oi.
Scott is here.
Welcome,
how
Scotta.
do you spell subscribe? That's what that word is supposed to be.
Hey!
There it is, Scotta.
Hey,
Thank you, Scotta.
We appreciate that. Oh no, heads up.
Here it is.
Well done, Scotta. Well
I love the hand
done.
motions.
Well done.
Brady, ladies and gentlemen, Brady. Hey,
That is
passing K Llama, I think.
Pasang Klama.
Passing Klama.
Pa Sang Klama? I don't know. Party in the house. Yeah, it is a party.
Party over here.
I would actually say if I were watching the stream, I would subscribe just to have Brady do that, and then I would make it. I don't know what I don't know.
All right, thanks.
It's not even a plug.
I feel like it is.
Please do that again so that Brady can say that again.
Pendulums, mans.
Pendulums.
Pendulums?
Like physics?
Like physics, where they swing back and forth, and the physics professor does the fun thing where, yes, we do tutor SAT and ACT.
Yep.
This is free. We do this an hour and a half to 2 hours every night, 5 days a week, and then if you want to do one-on-one, our stuff is down below.
Yeah, look at our old videos. Also, just ask us questions. If you have a question about math, ask us right now, and we'll do it. We'll answer if we can. If it's about the SAT and the ACT, we probably can.
We can. If it's about the SAT and ACT, we can. Unless it's a URL question where they don't actually tell you the parameters of the question.
I haven't been stumped on an official question in at least 6 months.
That's so cool. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
We have a couple of practice tests down below. If you want to go through those, check them out, see what issues you might have on it, see what problems you wouldn't know how to do. You can ask us to do those, and we can actually pull those tests up. I'm not sure how long you've been in the chat, as an overlay, and we can go through them that way.
You should ask us questions now. Don't thank us. Ask us. And then thank us. Right, Braid?
Yes.
Yes, Bird. Okay. Do you want to do matrices?
No.
Matrices?
Levi, he doesn't want to do matrices.
No.
I think they want to do matrices.
No. Look, this is you throwing a dart at a dartboard where you don't even know where it's at. You're being spun around, and your eyes are closed on top of it all. You don't know what they need to know.
You have extended that metaphor too far for me to follow.
Good, that's the point.
Today I learned about cross
Both.
product, and I want to kill myself. Wow.
Cross products? Ooh.
Ooh. I got
Well-
it, Scott.
Hang in there.
Wow.
Cross products are actually pretty useful. I used to remember why. More of why. What are the graph formulas you have to know?
Like formula of a circle type of deal?
Yeah. So yeah, llama. I'm just gonna say llama because I don't know how it is. Ask specific test questions or general questions. Both. Any question you have should be related to the SAT or ACT. But if you have a question about
Brandon's
general-
personal life.
Nope. No. If you have a question about strategy, timing, any of that, let us know. Study tips, study strategies. Let us know, or it can be actual questions from a test. Both are welcome.
Yeah. Huh. Do 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 do.
Hey Brady, we appreciate your help.
So wait, who had? Oh.
Yes to what? Sorry, Ren.
Oh, I think I said equation of a circle. Oh God, wait, the SAT have that one weird graph where it's like, what?
We start at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then we go to 9 p.m. Eastern. We're thinking of potentially changing that to 9 to 10:30. We're
Yeah.
going to ask our viewers to
Schedule's
decide
down below.
that.
It says roughly when we
Yeah.
when we stream, and then also there's a calendar down there, and you can just look at the calendar. It says what we're covering.
An unshaded dot connected to a shaded dot.
Piecewise.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, I'll tell you what to do.
So if you have this, ooh, what? Brady.
Keep going, Braid.
Oh.
You guys are gonna
And
end
in 5 minutes? No.
We
No. We have another 35 to 40 minutes.
Yep, 30 minutes at least.
So 8 to 9:30 Eastern, or we may change that, but for now it's 8 to 9:30 every night.
Yeah, so we have 30 minutes at least. At least. Okay, I'm gonna do a piecewise like this. So we're gonna say that. What are we gonna say?
Brady, what you doing?
We're gonna say that this is x squared. We're gonna
Wait,
say
what?
Piecewise. You want me to say what that function is specifically?
You want to do something simpler than a square root?
It's not a square
Or a
root.
squared function, a quadratic function?
For piecewise? That's not hard.
Okay.
Just graph it on the domain.
All right.
I mean, unless you want to write the equation for
No,
that.
I think she just meant something. Maybe not. Go ahead and we'll go from there.
Okay, x squared for when if x is less than or equal to 1, and then we're going to say that 2x plus 1 if x is greater than 1.
Okay. So if it's less than or equal to 1, we're going to have x squared. Well, on the left side, anything negative, right? I'm just going to look at x equals 0. That's going to be included in x squared. I'm just going to have that. Now, if it's 1, I'm going to go out, and x squared for 1 is actually just 1. And at this point, we just got a 740.
Nice. Good stuff.
And then it goes 2x plus 1, meaning from there it's to here at a slope of 2. And one of those is going to be open.
That's piecewise.
Now, how do I know which one? Oh, yeah, I'm going to ask. How do I know which one is closed and open, Levi?
You know because it tells you here, less than or equal to. That means 1 inclusive. That means that this graph includes that point, and then you can't include that point. This is not a function. Because what that means is that you have 2 filled in circles, and that's not okay because that doesn't any longer pass the vertical line test. So one of these,
the vertical line test?
the vertical line test is when you draw a vertical line and it cannot cross the graph, or your function cannot hit that vertical line at more than one point.
Does that make sense, Ren?
That's a piecewise function. So you just graph the thing on the domain that you're given, and then the inequality symbols.
Good.
Dope.
Great.
We had something else.
Recently got a 740 on math in my last practice test. What should I do to get that 800? Well, what kinds of questions are you missing? Is it a timing issue? Is it just an issue with material? Do you know what those specific questions are?
I think that if you can figure out what those specific things are, then that's probably half the battle. You may not even need us. because if you're getting 740, that means you're good at math, certainly. But it could also mean that you have no idea what you're doing on the test. And that's why, you're losing those 60 points because you're great at math, but you don't know how to take the SAT.
Brady, move the mouse up.
What I would recommend in this case
He puts a wipe on.
is, I think they are concept questions. I will be sure to tune in to on your concept days.
Or just tell us what those concepts are. If you have any
Yeah.
specific questions, tell us them and we can do them now.
Yeah, so just so you know, we put in our schedule or on the concepts calendar things that we will go over, but we're generally done with that between 30 minutes and 60 minutes. We're done with those things, and then we just open up for questions. I posted a question. Thank you, Scotta.
Yep, just popped
Was
up.
it related to the SAT and ACT?
Let's hope so.
Or was it related to Brandon's personal life, which would be
No.
ideal?
Yeah, that was good. Okay. Brendan part 2. Shoot. I can't do this, man. I can't hang.
Is it funny?
Can you look at question 10? Which of the following is closest to Brendan's most embarrassing moment? That's so well done.
Check out the Discord.
Let me see that.
Wait, read them out.
First kiss, peed his pants, self-disappointment. Ouch.
Actually, all of those happened at the same time.
When his friends found out he couldn't swim, or poor taste in cologne.
All of them happened simultaneously. It was the worst day of Brandon's life.
How do you post a question? You can either ask it here. If you join our Discord down below, you can post a screenshot way easier.
Yeah.
Between begun versus began, one of those things that if I read too much, it just loses all meaning.
Oh yeah.
you do
Let's
that.
let's not use those words if they've already lost meaning to you. Welcome back, Al Wayne. Haven't seen you in a while.
Good to see you.
Let's do. So that's tense. Okay. There's we got present tense. We got future tense. We got past tense.
And
And then
that's perfect.
can I have the blue? Thank you.
That's hilarious.
Past perfect. I like to call this one extra past because that's how it makes sense to me in my head because it's before the past tense. Scotta.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
They did
it.
misspell my name though. It's Brennan with only one N. So I don't know who Brennan is.
It's you, dude. It's just misspelled. Can't get out of it that easy. Okay, let's pick a verb. Hey, Braid, can you pick a verb?
To skate.
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 No, let's see a different one. Drink.
Buy.
I don't know drink. I get confused.
Drink. Drunk. I have drunk. I drank.
No. I had
drink.
drunk.
Yeah.
I had drunk
Okay.
a lot.
Drink. Okay. I
Swim is also a good one.
drink.
Swim.
swim.
Are you
Okay.
just pointing out the fact that you think I can't swim?
He
That's
can't.
such a good connection.
He can't.
I can. I just sink
no.
like a rock.
He can't swim.
It's just, it happens.
Can't swim. I will drink. Or no, yeah, drink. I'm not going to do those. Those are easy. We have drank. We have swam.
And then for the
Then
fun one.
for the extra past, or past perfect if you want to be
Correct.
boring.
And technical.
Technically boring. We have, I'm going to write out the whole thing. I had drunk.
My fill or something
My
like
fill.
that.
Yeah, I had drunk something. Or you have I had swum.
Such a weird
Swum.
word.
Swum.
Don't say it more than like 3
Swum,
times or it
swum,
sounds wrong.
swum, began, begun, swum.
Elwayne, does that help a little bit?
And in a sentence, let's do a sentence. We would say something like, before
I learned.
I started running, I had already
Llama, the Discord link is down below if you scroll down.
drunk
Thank you, Ren.
1 liter of...
Cola. Please do cola.
No, they're on a run. You don't drink cola before you run. That's such a bad
I
idea.
know a guy who won every 800 he ran and he smoked a cigarette and ate some Doritos before every race. It just happens, okay? They're
Brendan, you
freaks of
can't
nature.
tell the students to smoke. You
Oh,
just
don't.
told them. You straight up told them they should smoke. You said that.
That's not what I said.
Clip it. Check it. He did.
This is going to be so fun because you're wrong.
So wait, specify began versus begun.
Okay.
Past perfect versus just past. It is still
Oh.
weird to me.
Okay, I can do begun. Begin.
No.
Wait, what's the
That's
question?
not what they're asking.
What's the question?
Perfect versus past perfect versus just past.
Oh, One of them happened before that. So if you say I went to school, that's past tense. I went to school. That's just the normal past tense that you think about.
Went.
But if you say I had eaten breakfast before I went to school, then we have I had eaten breakfast. That's the extra past, right? It's the past perfect. It happened before the thing, which is I went to school. I had eaten breakfast before I went to school. You can also say I ate breakfast and then I went to school, but that's because in the sentence you said it chronologically anyway, so you're fine. If you say before I went to school, I had eaten breakfast, that's fine too. You could feasibly say before I went to school, I ate breakfast. That's fine, but it depends on the options you're given in the question. Begin, began, begun.
I shouldn't be doing this.
What are you doing?
I'm not looking at our designs.
Are you looking at the...
No, I didn't.
Dude, you're not allowed to look at those without us. Ugh.
Our logo designs.
Yeah, we have... Should we tell him? You can tell him.
Yeah, we have logo designs coming. We also had a cool logo design done by Scotta.
Yes, which was dope, Scotta.
And we appreciate it.
You know the most expensive part? Trademark.
Trademarking things is not easy. It's not cheap. I'll just do this. Are there any other questions? Thank you for that one, Elwayne.
See, don't feel like you shouldn't ask questions because we want you to ask questions possibly more than you want to ask questions because we don't have anything to do.
Wow.
We're just going to stand here and I hate just standing.
Oh, is begun often set off by had? Had or have has to be.
You have to, yeah. It's part of the conjugation.
Yep.
It's your helping verb.
It's like haber, if any of you know Spanish. Am I right, Brady?
Yes.
I don't know what it would be for French. Sorry.
Avoir.
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 Post it on the Discord.
I posted a Q on disc. Disco. What do we got?
I'm waiting for it to load. All right. Y be a real number. Oh, logic. I love this.
Okay, so
Can we
we're
write that
given...
up?
Yeah, tell me.
X minus Y is less than or equal to 0. So what has to be true? We have X is less than... How do you solve questions like these? We'll give you a couple of ways
X
to do
is
it.
less than...
Or equal to Y. It's X is less than or equal to 2Y. And negative X is less than or equal to negative Y.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it. Okay. Llama has a question with linear graphing linear equation. Okay. Renan. Yes. How do you do questions like these?
This one is actually really straightforward.
Yeah. Well, in this one, what you could do is get X on one. You know X is always on one side, so let's look at that. We have X minus Y is less than or equal to 0. I want this to be X is less than or equal to Y, because I'm just going to add Y to both sides. All right?
Just keep going.
From here, I know that that's true, right? If X is less than or equal to Y, it's also going to be less than or equal to, well, not equal to. Well, yeah, it's definitely going to be less than or equal to 2Y.
Yeah. The question is what must be true.
Yeah. So we have that, which means if one way you can do this is plug in values.
Yep.
Right? You know this is true, so X could be 1 and Y could be 1.5. Okay, let's try this. We have X is 1 and 2Y would be 3. That is still true, saying less than or equal to. B works out. Let's say C. Now, if I use these same values, I could say that I have negative 1 is less than or equal to negative 1.5, which is false. Right?
Yes.
That doesn't work.
Examples.
Yeah. A great way is to plug in values for this.
Yeah, just keep going. Brady's got it in the chat.
No, I have to allow him to do that. Wait, what?
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Yeah, it's unrelated.
Okay.
So with these questions, there are two approaches. This one, in this case, it actually gives you an inequality, or might give you an equation in some, and you work your way through that equation or inequality, and you can get to something that looks like one of these answer choices, and there you are, because you've used perfect logic to get from the given to what must be true. Or you can use counterexamples. I think it's good to use counterexamples because it allows you to solidify your understanding with actual numbers. As soon as something works, if this must be true, but then Brendan comes up with -1 and -1.5, then then it's not necessarily true, so you're done with that one. That one's the wrong answer.
Okay, next one.
Next question, you're saying?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, is there a next one?
Yeah, there's one on Discord.
Oh, in the Discord. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to write it
Are
for
you
you?
going to do Robot Dancer?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have another one from Off.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, shoot. Was it Robot Dancer who asked this question, or was it Pyroprancer?
They have different names on the Discord, so it's not going to work well for you.
Got it.
I think, who asked the first one?
Robot Dancer.
I was just wondering because my school offers...
It's fine.
Okay. I'm Robot Dance.
There it is.
Okay.
So this is the one we're
Got it.
doing for Robot Dancer.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. It's just trouble graphing
Yes.
linear equations.
Yes.
And I'll get... That was... Oh, did it actually have an actual example there? Yes, it
There's a
did.
question down there.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to just read it loud?
Yeah, could you read it?
The graph of the line in the xy plane has a slope 2
All right, hold on. So I got line 1 has a slope of 2.
and contains the point 1, 8.
Okay.
Levi, you got the second point here?
Yep.
Passes through 1, 2, and 2, 1. If the two lines intersect at the same
Sorry,
point,
say that one more time.
pass through 1, 2, and 2, 1. Look at this.
My shirt looks like an Edgar Allan Poe version of Jurassic Park. Thank you. I'm a huge fan of animal shirts. I have far too many of them.
If the two lines intersect at AB,
So intersection point is AB.
what is the value of A plus B?
Okay, so
Lots to work
intersect.
on. I'll get out of the way.
Yeah. I'm going to look at Office real quick.
Okay, and the deliverables here, so to speak, are what is the sum of A and B. Okay, so we have to get the equations of these lines in order to figure out where they intersect. The first line, we know its slope, and we know one of the points it goes through. That's enough for us to figure out what the equation of that line is going to be. The best, I say the most intuitive form of a linear line is slope-intercept form, which, as you might remember, is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So we already know what m is for our first line. It's 2. So I'm going to rewrite this now with 2 in for m, 2x plus b. The only other piece of information we need now is the b. Once you have your slope and your y-intercept, you have a complete line, you know how to graph it, you know what it's going to look like. So in order to find b, we have to use the other piece of information we have about this line, which is the point that it goes through, 1, 8. So that's our x value, and that's our y value. If a point is on a line, we can plug in those numbers for x and y, and the math should work out. So I'm going to plug in 1 and 8 for x and y here, and then once I do that, b will be the last variable there is, which means we can actually solve for it. So y is equal to 8, x is equal to 1 plus b. So 8 is equal to 2 plus b. Subtract 2 from both sides, meaning that b is equal to 6. Okay, so our very first line, the equation for that first line is y equals 2x plus 6. Great. Now let's go to the second line. The second line doesn't give us, it gives us some information that we can use to find its equation, but it's one step backward from where we started with line 1. Line 1, we already knew the slope. Line 2, we don't know the slope yet, but we have enough information to figure it out. We have 2 points, so the first thing we're going to have to do is figure out the slope. So you guys should know this formula. It's very important. The slope formula, which for whatever reason we use m for, is rise over run, also equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which you can also think of if you know this notation. That's, I'm sorry, that's supposed to be a y.
Hey, Brady.
Yes.
It's supposed to be a y.
What, this?
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be a y.
Yeah. No. Y, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez. All right, that's kind of embarrassing. Okay. Delta y over delta x. So we're going to take these 2 points. We're going to figure out the slope between them. I'm going to call this x1. This will be y1. This will be x2. And this will be y2. So we have y2 minus y1, which is going to be 1 minus 2. And that's going to be over x2 minus x1, which is 2 minus 1. Which is going to give us negative 1 over 1, which is just equal to negative 1. All right, so we now know the slope of our second line, and we're going to get to, we're now at the same place we were with our first line, where we have the slope, and we have 2 points that we can pick from to plug in to find our b value. So we're going to put this, got a lot of stuff up here. I'm going to start down here. We have y equals negative 1, so negative 1x plus b, and we're going to plug in one of these points, whichever one looks easier to use. In this case, they both look pretty simple to use, so I'm just going to use the first one. We're going to put in this for y and this for x. So we have 2 is equal to negative 1 times our x value, which in this case is 1 plus b. So that's going to be, here we go, 2 is equal to negative 1 plus b. In order to get b by itself, we have to add 1 to both sides. So b is equal to 3. All right, so our second line is y is equal to negative x plus 3. Now we have the equations of those 2 lines, which is also known as a system of equations. And I need some more space here. So please let me know if there's any questions about what I've done so far. We're just finding the 2 equations of these lines. Oh, thanks, Levi. Go ahead. So now what we have to do
Do you want me to get rid of this?
Let's keep that for right now. Yeah, this will be enough space. Okay. Next we have to do is solve the system of equations. And these are both already set equal to y. So I'm just going to use substitution, which is where one of the equations is already solved for one of the variables, which in this case they both are. So I could do this in 2 different ways. And then you take that value. So from the second equation, I know that y is equal to negative x plus 3. So I'm going to take that value and I'm going to substitute it in for where y is in the first equation. Because they're both set equal for y, we can just take what those y's are equal to and bunch them together, set them equal to each other. Bunch them together is not math terminology. We have negative x plus 3 is going to be equal to 2x plus 6. The reason why this is helpful is now we only have x's, which means we can actually solve. Before, we had x and y, and you can't actually solve for one of the variables and expect to get a number. You're going to get that variable in terms of the other variable, which is helpful in certain cases, but it doesn't actually get you a value. So now to solve this for x, I'm going to get all the x's on the same side, so I'm going to add x on both sides, and I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So that is going to give us 3x on this side, and that's going to be equal to, subtracting 6, negative 3 over here. So now we're going to divide both sides by 3. X is equal to negatron 1. Once you have one of the variables, you just plug that in for x in either of the equations, and you'll find the y value that you're looking for. So I'm just going to use the top equation. They're both looking very simple. So y is equal to 2x plus 6. My handwriting is not great today. I apologize. I'm going to make this one look slightly better. And did I put the negative on the wrong side of the 1?
Okay, I thought that was just because I was on the other side of the screen.
Oh, what am I doing? I'm sorry. Oh, man. I'm sorry about that.
You okay, Braid?
I don't know, am I?
Tag out?
I think I'm okay. I'm gonna.
You look good.
I know I got my shirt on. As in this specific shirt. Not just I have a shirt on.
Don't
I
be so negative
usually have
about
a shirt on. Okay, so we got y is equal to 2 times what we just got for x. Don't be so negative about Scotta. Oh, Scotta. You kill me. You absolutely kill me. Plus 6. Y is equal to negative 2 plus 6. Y is going to be equal to positive 4.
Are we done?
You were doing a great job explaining this. Ah, passing clama. Passant clama. Thank you very much. I enjoy this. We're almost done. Now what we have to do is add a and b. As you recall, a and b are the x and y value of the intersection point, which we just found. We found that a is our x value, which is negative 1, and our y value was 4.
So a plus b is just going to be -1 plus 4, which is just going to give us 3. So the answer to this one is 3. Can I show you something cool before you erase that? Yes.
Ooh, okay. Oth, we're getting to your question next.
All right, so you know that they're going to intersect at the point x plus y, because this a plus b is the same thing as x plus y. This is y minus x, y equals -x plus 3. You add x to both sides, and you get y plus x equals 3. Wow. And that's your answer. Wow. Wow. That's my own Wilson impression. Wow. But that is unnecessary to think about ever. Well, not really. I mean, it's cool. I like it. It's a neat little shortcut you got there, Levi. They're going to start calling you... Never mind. We don't say our last names, do we?
Well, it's on the website.
Like, pretty aggressively easy to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're going to start calling you Shortcut Jennings, is what I was going to say.
Wait, his last name... Oh,
no.
They could Google
The jig is up. We're real people in the world.
No, we're in a glass case of emotions.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
We're inside your computer screen.
OthX, we are going over your question next. For those of you who want to see it, go ahead and take a look at the Discord. I will do my best, which will be very not great, to draw it.
Oh, come on. You're going to be fine. I can draw it.
Well, you want to get to it? Do you have it in your hand?
Nope, I don't. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
And I will do what I can. Here is the general look of it. Please don't.
I got. Hold on.
Levi.
Hey,
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I think he wants us to do it.
You think so? The equation, they're asking for a couple of different things, but it looks like this. Generally looks something like this. All right? Thank you. Ooh, rub my beard. Thank you.
Did. Sorry. Why did you do that?
We have -3.
I don't know. I get so caught.
Is less than or equal to x. Is less than or equal to 4. All right? We want it over that period. So we're going to say that we have, this is 4, this is -3, and this is something graphically to look at. It doesn't help here.
Are we penguins?
Yeah. But it says, based on the graph, what could be the following values? The function f graphed in the xy plane has a minimum of k. So k equals the minimum value. All right, over this range, -3 to 4. Because I can't draw this perfectly, it's not going to be the best example. However, if you look in the Discord at his actual example that he posts, it's a picture, it'll make this quite clear, or at least more clear. What we want to do here is say the minimum value is not necessarily what's at -3, right? Just because it's the value of x is negative. We want what the y value is in here that is the minimum. What we want to look at is say, well, this could be a local minimum until over here, but we're actually going to -3, so we actually want whatever this value is going to end up being down here. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is the graph they give you. It actually has dotted lines for all of these. It actually makes it very clear and easy to see where this line would cross. All you're doing is saying over this area, -3 to 4, what is the minimum value? It's not this, right? If we were here, it'd be this. But because we're extending further, this line continues to go below this value here. Meaning, wherever this is at when it crosses -3 is what our value is going to be, because it is continuing downward. It has a downward slope. It actually happens to hit at -5. Again, I did not draw this perfectly because I'm not an artist.
You're an artist.
But sorry for annoying you guys, but do you have any tips for reading? How do you know the minimum value you are looking for is y? It says the minimum value of the function, and when we talk about a function, we always have y equals or the f of x equals. We're always solving for y. I guess not always, but almost always when we're solving for a function, we're solving for the y value.
The value of a function is the y value. Llama, you are not annoying us. This is the point.
Yeah, the point is for us to answer your questions.
I get annoyed when you don't ask questions. So we'll do that next.
Does that make more sense, huh? Oh, okay, it makes... No, it was worded a little weird. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, is getting used to how they word these questions so that you're comfortable with it when you actually see it on the test.
Yes. Llama, is Llama SAT?
Llama, let us know if you're SAT or ACT. it'll help us a little bit with how we recommend or what strategies we recommend.
Questions?
SAT.
Did we,
We're doing 2-part questions tomorrow.
is it tomorrow? Okay.
It's today.
So I'm not gonna do
What day is today? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Tomorrow is 2-part questions, which are those questions where it's what is this, and then they say what is the best evidence of that answer, whatever. We're doing those, and those are the I've found the most tedious questions for students, especially the ones who struggle with the reading section. So those, once you get an approach to those, then the section as a whole gets, I think, significantly less painful just to do. I think that if you're getting 20 wrong, it's it could be time possibly. So that's a possibility. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, Brady, yeah, okay. Do you use a Mac?
So tell him yes.
Oh, it's because the light's probably reflecting off of here, right? But yes, he does.
What do you mean by that? That?
No, your Apple logo potentially is reflecting off of this. Not now, but it was earlier, possibly.
Oh, it totally is right now.
Yeah, there you go. Right down here on the side.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
what they're talking
getting
about.
16 wrong, 20 wrong on the SAT reading. It is, let's see, in general, these questions are just very, very nitpicky and they're confusing. So if you feel like a question is just overwhelming you entirely, what the issue is I mean, it's possibly
Brady.
the passage is very difficult, and that can happen with some of the more wordy, flowery passages. The questions are the most important thing, because if you understand the question, it'll tell you at least where to go in the passage, and you can read it as many times as necessary to get the answer right. If you're getting, let's see, what are we getting? Okay. If you are getting that many wrong, I would say stop worrying about time if you are, because it won't help you.
Covered.
What you need to work on is accuracy. The way to work on accuracy is taking one passage. It doesn't matter what type. Let's say, I would say start with your best pass, the one that seems the easiest. If it's the prose, if you like reading fiction type of stuff, then that's easy possibly. But then after you do that, move to the harder passages for yourself and spend as much time as necessary figuring out the right answer on every single question, and work on getting 8, 9, 10 right out of the 10 or 11 that they normally ask on those passages, because the accuracy is key. Once you figure out how to get the questions right every time, then you can start ratcheting up your speed and taking less time. But accuracy is the first thing. Dang, I missed most of today's stream.
Hey, Vinroy.
You
good to
did,
see you.
Vinroy.
You can always go back and watch it again. You can watch the. It's all recorded.
Yep.
Yeah. If you have any questions, let us know, though. What time is it?
It's almost done.
Yeah, we're about out of time.
I guess now is not a bad time to ask. We asked this about an hour ago, but we are considering moving the stream an hour later. So starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so that we can pick up people on the West Coast a little bit more easily. We have no idea where any of you are from. So it would help us if you want to. Thank you,
Hey,
Mama.
thanks for
We
the bits.
appreciate it. If you please, actually, we're gonna do you're gonna set up some kind of poll.
Yeah, we're gonna do a straw poll, probably the easiest. Okay. Probably a straw poll to see what time would work best for you guys, whether we started at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Hey, there you are, Scotta. 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Oh, Brady said yes. Okay, cool. Let's see. So the reading section is hard. We can't go through every single question on here, but what I would recommend taking one section at a time. You don't need to do not one section. One passage at a time, and working on it, working through it, being very accurate. You have to get yourself to that understanding.
Keep going.
You have to get yourself to the understanding before you get yourself to getting everything right quickly, because that's just not going to happen. You can't do the same thing, or you can't do better in the same amount of time right away. It's unlikely that you're going to get there. Work on accuracy, then get to efficiency and speed. I won't say that again because I've said it about 4 times now. Yes.
Yep.
Trash can
Ooh,
state.
Don't consider
That's
it a
where I grew up.
state. That is true. Just like West Virginia. What?
Yeah.
All right.
People from New York is just so full of New York. They just love New York so much.
It's a great time. I like it. And I'm from Missouri.
Do you want to do the shameless plug this time?
Oh, yeah. For anybody joining, if you appreciate us, if you like us, if you have Twitch Prime and you'd like to, feel free to subscribe to us for free. We appreciate it. we're doing this for free regardless, so it's not obviously not required. Yeah. Also, don't feel free to come to the streams with questions prepared so we can go over those. It's only going to help us help you prepare more.
Reading 1 to 2 hours a day. Be good for the reading section.
Reading is only going to help. Find a good book you enjoy, and a good series, a good genre, and just tear through it.
Yes, as long as it's not stupid reading like reading on Twitter, then anything helps.
Yeah.
And then
there's a great book series I could recommend.
Who is it? Vinroy who's reading it with you?
No, it's Real Keemify.
Real Keemify. Okay. 8 months, plenty of time. Yeah, that is a ton of time. I didn't have any friends in middle school, so I read every day, and that's what made the reading section easier for me.
So sad.
It was. I was super happy.
Which book series? It's called The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I really recommend it.
Yes.
I'm on book 4
It's
right now.
actually one of the subcategories of BPL, which is Brandon's personal life.
We did score on the tests. That is true. Which book series? Yes. You'd be our friend.
Stop.
Thanks.
Oh, I get it. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I was very young, so that's a little creepy on your part. I'm just kidding. I do appreciate that. I was not lonely, though. I had my books, and I was very happy. And now I have Brendan and Brady and Kitty, who's my dog. Ow.
All right. As long as you have a library card, you have a key to the world.
Is that all you came up here to say?
All right. Cirque du Freak, too. Ooh, that's interesting.
Tomorrow, what are we going over?
2-part reading questions. Two-part questions on reading.
2-part questions on reading, and then I think it's rates. Zeros, roots, solutions. They really mean the same thing, but we're going to be going over those tomorrow.
Yes. Also, last time we are doing a raffle of sorts for college application essays
during the cram
sessions. Not sure when, midweek, possibly, maybe later in the probably midweek, and then we'll figure it out from there. I'll give you all the details. It'll be down in the panels. It'll be on the Discos. It'll be all that.
Discords?
Yes. Discos.
Okay.
That's what I have to do when I do command spacebar to find it on my computer. I have to do Disco, otherwise it goes Disc Utility or something.
Ooh, Levi, clipped by Scotta. I think this is going to be a good one, so we'll check that out in a minute. Anyways, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. If you liked us, feel free to follow us or join the Discord down below.
Yep.
In the Discord, you can give us questions and problems to cover on stream.
Come in with your questions. Llama, that means you. Ask more questions. We're happy with them. Have a good night.
Yep. All right. See you guys tomorrow.